Hey folks, Alex here, 9 to 5 to Freedom. In today's video, it is the stock market Super Bowl, the Bears versus the Bulls, NVIDIA earnings. What happened in the market today? We'll give a snapshot of my portfolio, things that I've done today, and we'll wrap up with some other future plans for what I'm looking to purchase. So let's hop into it. We'll share my screen. I'm going to make it brief. It's getting a little bit late. This is the market today. As you know, we had S&P up 1.2%, NASDAQ up 1.7%, Russell up a percentage. Gold slipped slightly. Volatility index dropped to -4%. Fear and greed index, we'll just refresh here, see how we're feeling. We're at 11. We're worse than we were yesterday, so lots of volatility in the market. We'll look at NASDAQ here. We open up the day. We had a nice climb at 605, slid down. We were down all the way to 594, and then all the way we went sideways, slightly pushing up before market close at the 599 mark. As soon as the earnings came out for NVIDIA carried NASDAQ all the way up to 610. So a huge rally. We'll take a look at NVIDIA stock. You can see that in the after hours we're at 196, getting back to very close to our all-time highs. So pretty cool. We weren't sure what's going to happen. There was a lot of obviously debate whether we're going to hit earnings. Even if we hit earnings, would that still disappoint the market? So it was very volatile. Now, as you know, I did sell out of WPay last week, just on the cautionary side. I wasn't really too thrilled with the way things have been going. So obviously today it helped out with what happened with NVIDIA's earnings, and that helped obviously WPay as well. But today we were up during the morning hours. We were almost $47. Slipped down all the way to 45.42, and then we closed the day, and it climbed up in the post hours. So let's just take a look here. We'll just hop over to Yahoo. So right now we're sitting at $47.68 on WPay. And then we'll take a look at just Ulti just for the fun of it. See how our friends in Ulti world are doing. At $4.11, so it did climb up a little bit slightly. I don't think this is going to hold. I'm sure it's going to slip back down. But yeah, so that's what happened here in the market. We'll just take a look at. We'll see how Bitcoin's doing right now. I think we're floating at 91,000. So let's see. Looks like we've actually climbed up 92.6. So a slight recovery. We're down to, I think, 88 at some point. Yep, 88.8. So that slipped quite a bit. There were some fears that we go and almost touch the 70s. So, okay, we'll hop over to my portfolio here. Folks, this is what I got going on. Obviously, very nice green day today. I did take advantage of the rally. I was doing a little bit of trading today. I utilized TQQQ, which is triple leveraged NASDAQ. So on some of those spikes, I did move, and also I did a little bit of trading on NVIDIA as well. So that helped out my portfolio. But as far as the tickers here, we'll jump over to Robinhood Legend here. We'll just take a look at our positions. We'll see where everything is sitting as of right now. We'll go by market value. And my largest position currently, now I am sitting on like 53 grand in cash right now. So I'm slowly deploying that, just, trying to DCA into my long-term positions that I really would like to build up over time. And really just trying a more mature approach, I think, to investing. I've been burned a lot this year, chasing yield, chasing single stocks, chasing Yield Max, Ulti, chasing WPay, all sorts of chasing. And this has brought me kind of full circle. When I started this, I feel like I already had this in my mind that I didn't want to chase yield, but then I I went down this path, and here I am back to being mature again at the end of the year. So Eggy, 330 shares of Eggy right now. I'm still down on this position, 7.6%. Maggie, we got 200 shares right now. I'm down just under 2%. My gold position, I'm up 1.5%, so that's looking pretty good. QDT, pretty much flat. XCT down 1.5. My blocks, this one's hurt quite a bit, down 22%. Good thing I don't have too much invested into it, so I'm not too concerned about that. TDAC, this is from Tap Alpha. I did buy some more shares of this. I'm up 1%, and I have 125 shares. And actually, I got my dividend today. I was actually messaging on the Discord channel how I got the dividend on this, and it was like $3.75. So I can like buy a cup of coffee tomorrow. T-Spy got 110 shares now, slowly building this position up as well, and I'm up 1.35%. HOW, this one's slowly creeping back up. My entry point was really high. Look at this, $83, and currently we're at like $58 a share. So good thing this position is pretty small. I started to build up QQQI and SPY. One of the thought processes I had, I do like TDAC and T-Spy. I think these are going to be my primary ones. And based on the performance of T-Spy, it seems to do better than SPY. But I'm sure the way they do their cover calls, there'll be days where SPY will do better than T-Spy, and T-Spy will do better than SPY on certain occasions. One thing I was thinking about, like, I really enjoy the weekly pairs like QDT, XDT. I know that in a bear market, these things will not recover, and we've seen that from our days in Liberation Day, right? So if we go back in time, we just look at the charts here today, we can see here in January we were floating at $50. We went down to $39 on the lowest at April 21st, and we still haven't recovered that. We've been really just riding flat this whole time. So something like SPY, we could see that recovery that happened from that lowest point there on in April, and you see that we've actually climbed out of our highest point, so out of this lowest point and back to the point of beginning of the year. So that's one thing that to keep in mind with these funds is the fact that some of these ones, like from Round Hill, they're just paying 30%. So you're just gonna slack on the recovery there. But what I was thinking, SPY, QQI, they pay out on different weeks than TDAC and T-Spy. So in a way, I'm thinking if I build up positions across all of these, I'll be able to actually get like weekly payments, which would be very similar to what I've been getting like QDT, XDT. Not as much, obviously, up front, but I should see some of that appreciation as well by having these funds that I think, in my humble opinion, a little bit more mature. Okay, so that's what I got going on. Yeah, so right now, my buying power here, as you can see, I'm sitting on $51,729 on cash, and so I'm not using any margin right now, no margin, just sitting on cash. They're reminding me how much margin I have available. Yeah, I don't want to use it right now. So, but yeah, so that's what's going on in the portfolio. So, really, we're going to see what tomorrow's going to bring. I wonder if we're going to pull back slightly with how much everything rallied up today. If we do pull back a little bit, maybe I'll buy a little bit more shares of TDAC, T-Spy, QQI, and SPY. Really wanted to build up some of those positions. The other thing I've been thinking, this year I have been buying into the single stock dividend ETFs, especially in the beginning, I guess second half of the year when I got into like Misty and all that kind of stuff. Something I was just kind of thinking about today, really, it's no different getting into those funds and getting into the underlier. If let's say, for example, you were getting into MSTR beginning of the year and you held that through half of the year. Let me take a look here how what that point was. We'll just share the screen back. So like MSTR, for example, if you got into it in January and you held it all the way through July, obviously you would have done very, very well. And that could have been said, same thing with like Misty, right? You would have done really well. Um, but as soon as you hit that peak and you start going backwards, obviously that's when you don't look so smart anymore. And I think this is like something that I think I didn't understand, and I think a lot of people still don't understand this, is when you're playing around with these single stocks and or if you're playing around with the ETFs that pay dividends on single stocks, um, whatever that price action is, they can't create more than what the underlier is doing. So I feel personally, based on my analysis, that again, none of this financial advice. It seems like if you believe in a stock, just buy the stock. Don't worry about trying to make a dividend out of it, because if it does pull back, it's just going to erode your position. So there's really no benefit in that, in my point. But in my opinion, I mean, so same with like Nvidia, right? So there was a time when Nvidia might have slipped back. I mean, if we go back in time to, let's see, we'll just go back to just this spring, right, of this year. We went from $141 a share to $94 a share, so quite a bit of a loss. But if you're bullish on Nvidia and you were able to sustain this this pullback and you believe in the company, you would just get right out of it. You wouldn't be selling it. But if we're tying everything with like these dividend paying ETFs, and we see that they're eroding, they're falling down, and they're just like eating at our NAV because we're trying to live off the dividend, then we have nothing left. I think it's like, I don't know. To me, I feel like it's a little bit silly to continue to do that. That's why I do like the indexes. I think sticking to S&P 500, NASDAQ, for me personally, I think it makes more sense moving forward. And if I believe in a stock, I'd rather just buy the stock. I'm not going to look for some fund manager that's going to charge me a percent to run the fund, and it's going to underperform the underlier regardless. So there's my opinion on that. That's all I got for this evening, folks. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen tomorrow as we get into Thursday. Tomorrow we're supposed to get some announcements as far as the job market. So we'll see about that. And yeah, that's all I got, folks. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Check out our free Discord. Have a good night, folks.